from the Yuma campus of Arizona Western College, we are 94.7 FM KOFA Yuma. Listen at your convenience online at kofaborderradio.org and with the KOFA app. Stay tuned for What's Up Yuma with Johnny Porter. It's 10 o'clock.
It's been said that community radio is a rare medium that's well done. It's a cute play on words, but it's also quite true. Community radio is unique, both for our programming and for our source of funding. We are funded by you, those who listen faithfully. So please give now at borderradioaz.org. And thanks.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon.
On today's program, we are going to be joined first by Matias Rosales. He is a realtor from Yuma Home Team and the former San Luis Vice Mayor. I heard that he's going to be running for mayor again. Maybe he is already. We're also going to have Kristie Wright, Cassie Mueller, and Julie Moreno. Them three, all of them, they're going to come in and talk about the Yuma County Nurses Foundation Gala that's going to be happening May 2nd. We're going to find out about all the fun they're going to be having at Quechan Casino Resort on May 2nd. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget, you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma? What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon. And Johnny, your Suns are playing tonight.
They are, yes, against the Blazers or the
Portland.
Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Portland. And you sent me a link this morning.
Right.
Saying that they haven't sold many tickets.
Something like that, yeah. There's not so much excitement for a play-in game, but I finally got a chance to look into it because my team, the Sacramento Kings, they were out of it a long time ago. So,
yeah.
But at any rate, so the Suns are playing tonight. They're, I think, the 7th seed, so they're hosting up in Phoenix.
Yes, they're in Phoenix. They're 7th, and yeah, it's sad, but I guess they raised prices. I looked into it. You sent me that link this morning.
Something like that, yes.
So they rose. There's some pricing, and but people are in the comments because it's on X, and they're like, well, the number one thing is you want to get fans at your game, so they're probably going to regret raising prices, but we'll see, you know. But yeah, it's a play-in game still. That's something.
Yes, and so I don't know who came up with the system, but it's weird because the 7th seed hosts number 8, which is Portland, and then number 9 hosts number 10, which I think is the Clippers hosting.
It's the Clippers and the Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought it should be like most tournaments where the higher seed plays the lower seed, so 7 would play 10, 8 would play 9.
And see, I'm
glad you go from there.
I'm glad it's not that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess the Suns would have the advantage. But see, I like it this way. I looked at that too. It's like normally, like you said, there would be the better team plays the not so good team, so they can knock them off easily. But yeah, I hope they do good tonight. Are you going to watch it?
We'll see I probably will watch it, yes.
Yeah, you got your son's shirt on.
I'm wearing the Suns today. I'm repping, so let's hope it brings them some luck.
Yeah, so hopefully, there you go. You got you on camera. Yeah. And who do we got with us today, Victor?
So we have Matias Rosales. He is a real estate agent with Realty One Group Gateway. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, if you could take this, I got to answer this text real quick. I'm so sorry. My refrigerator went out.
Okay.
At my house.
Live radio.
Yeah, so it's live radio. So the I got to let the guy know that he can go in the house. So
yeah. So Matias, our listeners and viewers also probably recognize your name or have seen you before. They know you're a longtime San Luis City councilman. But before we get into that and what you do now and a possible run and actual run, tell us about yourself. So we like to get to know our guests, and we've had your son Esteban on before, but he told us your family is not originally from Yuma County.
Oh no, we relocated from California about 22 years ago now. Mm-hmm. So technically, I consider myself already a Yuma County boy.
And I think that's fair enough.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
The first 5 years is like we're from California. Even Esteban, it took him about 15 years to finally realize he's from Yuma County now. But yeah, we relocated from Long Beach, California. born and raised over there. Came down to Yuma, me and my wife, with Esteban was 5 and my daughter was just like 1 year old. And what brought us to Yuma was affordability. We were looking to buy a house, and California prices were skyrocketing, and we couldn't afford it. So
Lord knows they still are, right?
They
Especially
still are.
like $7, $8 gas.
Over in California, yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
no joke.
I want to say something on that because so growing up, when I knew a lot of families from California, but I grew up in a place called Okietown. If you're familiar with it, most of the people that come from California and move into Okietown, they're trying to escape the gang life over there. So that's usually been the whole thing. When it's like I know somebody from California, and they're trying to escape the gang life and end up coming in the gang life here, which isn't as bad, I guess. But that's just usually a lot of people when I hear they come from California. I always revert back to that as childhood, like, oh, there are probably some gangbangers over there. But
that is one of the reasons me and my wife decided to move to Yuma, because of affordability, and we were raising our kids, young family, and where I grew up, it wasn't what it was when I grew up.
there you go.
So, fortunately, my parents were hardworking and, provided as best as they could and kept us out of that arena. But when I wanted to set up over there a lifestyle, wherever I could afford, it wasn't where I wanted to raise my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So hence, that's why we came to Yuma and we settled down in San Luis, Arizona, and been there now 22 years.
So what neighborhood was it over there in Long Beach?
We were, it's called Wrigley area. So like I said, fortunately, my dad was hardworking and he's always been. He owned a gardening company. He was a gardener all his life.
Oh, nice.
So, I was pushing lawnmowers in the summers, days off, and, stuff like that. So he always had us in a little suburb around all the
Gotcha.
the not so fortunate parts of the city, but that was it. I couldn't go out at nighttime. There's no way he would let me go. Let me put it this way: I grew up in Long Beach, California, and I don't know how to swim. I never even got to go to the beach because they would keep us away from.
Oh, wow.
Because again, my brother is 7 years older than me, and that time he was growing up was when it was the peak of the gang activity in that part of Long
Yeah,
Beach.
well, if you listen to music, right, anything with Snoop Dogg on it, right, that's what they
Long
talk
Beach,
about.
LBC.
Long Beach, LBC.
Hey, I
and
grew
all
up
that.
on 23rd and Elm, and he was 21st and Lewis, so it's 2 blocks away.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, so I guess, that was there, but that's kind of interesting that you never went to the beach at all, like at all?
Well, we would go, but my parents would never be the type to take us in there to start swimming because, again, they
wanted to keep you safe and clear
and-
by.
yeah.
Interesting.
So now I could swim in a pool, but I won't get in the beach.
Well, so here's and the reason why you want to talk about that more. When you get to Yuma, you better go swimming somewhere, do something, right? You got to learn how to swim because it gets so hot here.
Yeah.
So you move to Yuma and you learn how to swim.
We learn to swim. We go down to the Golfo, get into the
there you go.
beach. Esteban, I don't know who taught him, but he knows how to swim. My kids all know how to swim. I'll still stay on the shore and watch them. I put my feet in there, but, I won't swim in the beach. But in a pool, I'll take dives and everything in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you move here. What Yuma, like, was it you knew about it? Your family members that maybe from around here or something? What was it?
My mom, she brought my grandparents from Zacatecas, Mexico, where they're from, when she started doing their citizenship paperwork. And that 2-year waiting period that they had to wait, she put them to live in San Luis, Mexico because she had a sister there. Mm-hmm. But the funny part is I never came through Yuma. Whenever we came from California, we would go down the 8, hit down to Calexico, cross through Mexicali, and hit San Luis that way.
Gotcha.
So coming and visiting my aunt so many times, one day she goes, hey, there's a little border here. There's a community on the other side. Why don't you and your wife go check it out? So we crossed over and we checked out San Luis. We're like, oh, this is a pretty cool little town. We went to Somerton. We're like, a little bit too small for our liking and for what we're looking for. Went to Yuma, like, it's a nice community. It's a little bit bigger than what we're looking for, So we ended up making an offer, buying a house in San Luis. A year later, we're relocating, and that's how we discovered it. But we never came through Yuma as
So you haven't been
Mexico, Mexicali, and into San Luis.
And San Luis, so that was your first real experience, and then you went around. So it's been a while. Has it changed much in San Luis since you?
Oh, we've doubled. I mean, when I first moved to San Luis, I think our population at that time was hitting probably 17,000, 18,000. The east side of town was barely a concept where they were starting to build that subdivision back then. And then the market crashed, and that died down for 5-8 years, and now it's doubled in population. I mean, you got now the generational youth, like my son Esteban was 26. You got all that age group that it's now starting their families, buying homes, and Esteban made me a grandpa last year. So that's
congratulations.
That's part of life, and thank you. And that's where we're seeing in the community. So the population of the sons of the field workers, the agri workers, now they're becoming the professionals and doing other stuff and making our city grow.
Yeah, and you mentioned the professionals. So when you moved here, were you already into real estate? Is that something you were doing back home?
No, back in California, I was always self-employed. I had what you call back then, if you guys remember Blockbusters, I had video stores.
Yeah.
And I used to sell beepers and pagers and cell phones out of my stores down there. So when I came to San Luis, that's why it took us a year to move over. I opened the spot in San Luis, Arizona. So it was also a video store, beeper store. I mean, not beepers were already out. Cell phones. We did water. We sold purified water. Mm-hmm. And then once I felt settled in, I moved my family over and then kept going back and forth until I closed the stores in California.
Interesting.
And the Shelly Ostrowski, who currently right now is my business partner, she's the one that sold me my house when I bought the house in San Luis. And that's how I got into real estate, by meeting her.
Okay, so then what was the name of the store?
Back in San Luis, it used to be called El Oasis Agua y Video.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I know what that means. But okay, so that's what it was. You were doing that, and then you just got into real estate because you bought a home?
Yeah, I bought a home, and it technically was supposed to be my wife. Shelly was very busy. It was the peak. That's when the foreclosure market started going up.
Yeah.
So Shelly was fortunate to have the Freddie Mac contract.
Because that was around that time.
2008, 2008. So she needed an assistant, and she was looking for someone that spoke Spanish. So she called me. She goes, hey, because we kept in touch. As a realtor, she would call me every month. Hey, how you guys doing? How's the kids? And we kept in touch. She goes, I need a Spanish assistant. And I was running the stores. So I go to my wife, why don't you go try to be a real estate license, a realtor? So she tried to get the test, but my wife's always been for testing. She knows everything, but testing is like her mental block.
Mm-hmm. But so same here, right?
Yeah.
So people's like, you should get into real estate. It's like, I can't take a test.
Yeah, and that was her biggest thing right there. And so after like a try or two that she tried to take the test, I go, well, let me try it. I got the employees working, running the store. And then I started seeing Blockbuster go out of business.
You're reading the tea leaves. You're looking around.
Netflix
you're like, wait
came
a minute.
out. People were standing in line at 110-degree weather at a red box. So I got to start figuring out. So I took the test, passed it, showed up to Shelly's office, and she said, sit down, and that's history. We've been there 18 years.
So then how long after that did you close your location?
I ran, being an owner of the business there in San Luis, I got to meet a lot of the community. So people started asking me, why don't you run for council? We need some fresh ideas and stuff like that. So the clients are the ones that pushed me to run for council. So when I won my first election, I was getting into real estate, the store, and the political side. I go, that's too much, and I don't want to mix it. So I decided to close the stores.
Okay.
So then I just focus on real estate and being the community volunteerism that I'm doing.
Because there was a lot on your plate then, and then you want to go out into this new venture, and you're hearing from the community. Where does that come from, that sense of like you're hearing from them, and maybe I should do something. Maybe I really because that takes some ownership, right? Because you're not from here originally. It took you a while to say, okay, I'm Yuma County now. And then when people are like telling you problems or what? Like how does that work? Because again, we a lot of people just like to complain. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's like an easy thing. It takes somebody with different, like maybe morals or different way of looking at life to say, well, I'm going to do something about it. So what was that?
Well, I think it comes down to when the ask, you don't think about it, because I was one of those. I was like, why don't they do this? Why don't they do this? And so talking to clients at the store, they were, well, you're young, you're new, you got some fresh ideas. Why don't you run? And again, being a smaller community back then, it grew where a lot of people started asking me. And then me and my wife moved into a bigger house because the family grew, and the neighbors that were around us happened to be on council as well. So two of my neighbors were on current council or served in the past. So they started asking me too, hey, we would like your family, man. You got great ideas. Let's help you, and let's see if you could run for council. And it was to ask.
Okay. So then did you ask them, like, hey, what's it like to be on council? Did you do kind of some research and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I asked, and, I never in my mind did I ever grow up thinking I was going to be in public service or be that type of
really
community oriented, activist, not an advocate.
Yeah.
An activist, yeah. And so the first thing I did is talk to my wife first. We got little kids. Esteban at that time I think he was a little bit older, but we have 4 kids total. So I'm like, hey, if I'm going to do this, it's going to take up some time. Are you okay with it? My wife's like, go for it. We're here to be supportive. So then, started going to their meetings because they would have volunteer meetings, every quarter, and start finding out and then meet more people, meet the volunteers. And that led to the first campaign, and we were fortunate to win that campaign.
Mm-hmm. And you said you never thought of yourself like this, right? It's kind of interesting how we have this view about ourselves, right? Because I'm looking from the outside in, right, or the outside, and looking at you, and I'm like, you already look like it. You talk like it. You seem like a person that would be perfect for this, right? Well, and then, but I don't know if that was something that was developed over time, that you grew, but definitely I could see that about you.
Well, I think, you learn it and you develop it as you grow as a person, but I think it also comes down to your household. My parents always raised us to be that type of person, not to be about me, to help always. Growing up in high school, what I wanted to be when I graduated, I wanted to be a probation officer.
Okay.
So I wanted to go into that field. So I went to Cal State Long Beach for 2 years. But again, life happened. My wife got pregnant. I ended up going into the self-employed side of it. But I had that urge always to, I don't know, maybe because I wanted to be part of something. Mm-hmm. That didn't work out, so I guess this was the next step without even thinking about it, And then again, we fell in love with San Luis, so we wanted to make sure the community was growing because again, my son was growing, he wanted to be in sports, and there was not really much of activity at that time in regards to baseball, soccer for the kids.
And then you saw opportunity there because you're seeing a need, and you're like, maybe I could do something about it. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and on the other side, I want to find out what it was like when you first got on council, and then we'll go from there. We're going to do that right after a break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
I'm Maria Hinojosa. Next time on Latino USA, a conversation with the co-creators and stars of the hit off-Broadway musical Mexodus, Nigel D. Robinson and Brian Quijada. We go deep into the history of the Underground Railroad south to Mexico, and we talk about what their musical can teach us about cross-racial and cross-border solidarity. That's next time on Latino USA.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM. You are tuned to 94.7 FM KOFA Border Radio. I'm Cecilia Holland-Braithwaite from the KWC Newsroom. It'll be a sunny, calm day in Yuma with an afternoon high of about 81 degrees. Winds are light at 5 miles per hour, mostly out of the northwest. Clear skies tonight with a low about 54 degrees. Siendo Primero is a podcast hosted by first-generation students at Arizona Western College, which serves Yuma and La Paz counties. On the latest episode, the students focus on entrepreneurs and local business. Find out what it takes to turn a simple idea into a real business within our community. You can find out more online at kawc.org.
What's Up Yuma Radio is sponsored in part by Nova Home Loans, serving Yuma County and nearby communities. Nova Home Loans offers residential lending services, including home loans and refinancing. They are also proud supporters of local community efforts and organizations. More information is available at novahomeloansyuma.com.
Why is music an important part of your life? For many of us, music lets us see the world from someone else's perspective. We can find community in hearing someone else's joy, sorrow, or hope expressed in song or melody. KOFA Border Radio is your local, non-commercial source for great music.
Should be working. That's what you should be doing.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here speaking with
Matias Rosales.
And I just found out his wife could probably help fix my refrigerator. No,
Yeah, send her. She'll probably fix it in 5 minutes.
she fixed his. So
YouTube University.
Yeah, but no, my son knows to wait for the door, somebody to knock or ring the doorbell. So we're good. Crisis averted. Thank you guys so much. But we left off. So you're doing this, you hear from the community, you're seeing a need with your son, like you said, the baseball, soccer, different activities. So you get on. What was it like when you first get on council?
It was a complete I'm not gonna say overwhelmed, but it's shock or surprise because when you're on the outside, you ask why don't they do this, why don't they do that, and then you learn the reasons why and the process that it takes to get anything done.
Okay, I know I was gonna let Victor get some questions in, but that is so true. So I've ran campaigns. I've ran a lot of campaigns for a lot of people. I do marketing, I do promotions, and I've helped a lot of campaigns. And I know that part. Yeah. I know that part. So people are like, are you ever going to run? One, nope, never going to run. I'll help Tyler Woodman or whatever run for mayor if he wants to and stuff, but never going to run. But that is the thing that people don't understand. Once you get there, and then you're a target, right? Because all those people that told you, why don't you? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, why don't they? And then you get in, you're like, oh, that's why.
You get in, you go to the city manager's office, you say, I want to do this. Okay. Where's the money? Okay, you need to do this. You need to go through that. So it's eye-opening, and then it takes about a good year and a half to really grasp the full concept. Once you go through your first budget retreat and stuff like that. But yeah, you get in there and you learn how to make your checklist and say, okay, these are the things that are reachable, and this is how we're going to do it, and it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years to get done. And then you start working on those projects. One of the first projects that I pushed and worked together with the council again related to sports was building that indoor little soccer arena that we have in Jorduño Park.
Okay.
Because it was a fast-growing sport, and a lot of the kids were looking for that fast soccer thing. And that right there at that time cost the city about $150,000. But we had a budget 2 years to be able to build that. So little projects like that do high impact, you try to make on your list and say, I'm going to work on these items. And then you have the bigger projects that you work on that do take the 5 to 10 years. But that's why, as a council member, when you go in there, the first 2 years you're learning. The next 2 years is the action items, and hopefully, if you run for re-election and still have the want to run for re-election after all those hits that you're talking about, then you'll start to see the results of the hard work you did while you were doing that the first 2 years after you're learning everything.
And that's the thing, like you said, to be able to take those hits and then want to run again, and we don't know this, but we want them to run again because they've already went through that process and they went over that learning curve, and now they know, now they could do something. So we want them. So I'm like, when people come on, I used to do a different show, like more political and stuff, and there was some like hits and stuff that you would kind of hold. Not on this show. Hey, if you're running for office, more power to you. You know what I mean? Good job. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So last week on our show, we had two guests from San Luis. We had Lieutenant Emanuel Botello from the San Luis Police Department.
Mr. Botello, yes.
And we had Armando Esparza, Economic Development Director for the City of San Luis. And we both talked about, both of them talked about San Luis and the perception as a border community. Of course, people in San Luis, people in Yuma County that have been here for a while know what the reality is like, being on the border, that it's safe. People go back and forth for business, for school, and it's growing. But so, in your opinion, because you've been here, 18 years, 22 years, what would you say, people should know about San Luis? What would you like them to know if they don't know San Luis?
Go down and visit and make your own make your own opinion of what the border community is. Yeah. You'll be surprised how many people actually live in Yuma haven't been to South County since they've lived here. I mean, I've ran into, now that local businesses have opened and brought in more people, like for example Eddie's.
I was
you have people
there.
from Foothills coming in that never would have gone down there, and they're like, oh, this is beautiful, and now they're going down to other businesses out there. So go out there, make your own opinion. I mean, the 12 years in the past 15 years at least, and I'll say 15 because I was 12 years on council and then it's 3 years going off of it. But the past 15 years, San Luis has been one of the top 5 safest communities in the state of Arizona.
Top 5.
Last year we were number 1.
Wow.
And the year before that, we were number 2. We've been in the top 5 for the past 12 years.
Yeah.
So that goes to show, for being a community that's a border community, how safe we are. And sometimes people don't understand the reasons why. We're a close-knit family community. We have a lot of support from police agencies, the local, the counties, the federal agencies. So it's a great, beautiful community to be part of.
And I want to just highlight something or kind of go in on that. So when I was doing the previous show, not council, right? But if you run for certain offices, then, if you're on a certain political persuasion, you like to make the border seem terrible. You like to go on there and say, it's so bad over there. All these people are coming and drugs and terrorists and this and that. And I remember doing the show and then getting a call. And I never did that, but it was like the certain political people come on and get a call. It's like, hey, you guys really need to knock it off. Like, one, it's not true.
Yeah.
And tell them. And then two, you're making Yuma look bad. And we're trying to make Yuma look good. Yeah. That's what Visit Yuma is supposed to do. That's what like certain organizations, GYDC,
Chamber
stuff
of
like that, Chamber of Commerce. And then so people would come on and just the border, and paint this scary picture that had no real reflection in reality. So like you said, go down there, make your own opinion of the place and see, because like you said, there's not, just any old reason that it's one of the top rated safest places, right? That comes with some backing.
Yeah, it does. And a couple, I would say probably about 6-7 years ago, probably 8 years ago, the mayors around the counties decided to do something about that as well to change that perception. Because again, when we go out there as elected officials, we're promoting the whole county, not just the city of San Luis and San Martin. We're looking for everything. So they created what's called Four-Fronted ED. I don't know if Armando spoke about that, but that's something also that was added on to complement GYDC, Greater Yuma Port Authority, which also works hard for the community and the county and the region. So all that to bring the positive message to people to try to change what they see in the media that's only reported. So yeah, it's an uphill battle, but we do what we can.
Yeah. One last thing. I know. So, they would do that. They would paint it. I did the mayor's bike ride to over there.
That was one of those events too.
One of those events of it. And I went there and it was so great. As soon as we got across the border, they were like, hey, what do you guys need? It was such a great celebration. We were there, nothing but good feelings all across. And it was just such a great event. And you have to, like you said, experience that yourself, because during that time we would get calls. I get calls from people from Wisconsin or, in New York, like, oh my God, I feel so bad for you over there. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh no, so anyway.
Yeah. I have a couple more questions in the time we have left. So you served on council for about 12 years. What are you most proud of?
All the great work that working together as a council we got done in those 12 years. Two of the biggest projects that are barely coming to fruition, is that the word? Fruition?
Yes.
To light, is the new port of entry that's being opened up actually today. Today is the first day that the port of entry for people coming from San Luis, Mexico to the U.S. are going to be coming northbound using the new 16 lanes facility that just got opened.
Wow.
So it's supposed to be go live around 10 o'clock, so we'll probably be seeing some news coverage about that.
And that you had a hand in that.
Yeah, me and the past council, for the past 12 years, we traveled to Mexico City, Hermosillo, Phoenix, Washington, D.C. to make sure that all our state and federal representatives were on board on the need of getting this port of entry remodeled, since it was built in 1982 and it was outdated, not only for the economic development, but for the safety of our tourists and our CBP officers that work there hard every day. We wanted to make sure they had a state-of-the-art facility, which is the first one in the Mexico-U.S. border. And then also the boulevard expansion. That right there, we were able to work with our local senators and representatives a few years ago to get get at least $30 million of the $60 million that it's going to cost to develop that east to west corridor for the city to have a proper connection to Yuma, to Ash Highway, to the 8 Highway, and then to Phoenix, because at the end of the day, people across the border are going not only to Yuma, they're going all throughout our states. So those are the two biggest projects that I'm proud of.
And that you're proud of, and then that's pretty cool that today is the day that it opens. Yeah. So it must feel good.
Oh no, it feels great. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't able to be part of the shovel opening for it because I was already at office. But I'm hoping, with my candidacy to run for mayor, I'll be able to be there. So when they actually do the grand ceremony for the last phase, because this is barely the second phase of it. Yeah. Just one more phase left for it.
So you did mention you're running for mayor, and I will ask you about that. But before I get to that, I do want to mention, you mentioned your son Esteban. He's in the other studio listening to us right now. He's currently on the council. He's 26 years old. How has that been for you to see your son, as a young man in the community, step up and say, hey, I want to have a say in what goes on in my community?
Oh, I'm proud of him. It took courage for him to want to run for council. I don't know if being part of it as when he was growing up prepared him for it. But I think the hardest part of that was when he got in there is letting him learn his own way and make his own decisions. A lot of people have this impression that, because he's in there, he's asking you for everything. He would come at first and ask me, Dad, what do you think? I would give him my opinion, but I go, at the end of the day, you're the one up there. You're the one that has to make the vote. So he's got to the point where it's minimal the interaction we have in regards to that. He's doing his thing, and I watch him, and he'll still come for advice, as a father and as a mentor. But he's doing great, and like I said, he's trying to juggle being a new dad, being a full-time realtor and a full-time volunteer, because again, at the end of the day, it takes time to be in office, as you guys know.
And I know he's listening over here, so I don't want to make him blush, but I was very impressed with him when I had him on. So when I was asking Victor about today's show, and he's like, yeah, his son was, I was like, oh yeah, I was very impressed with that guy. So yeah, so
he surprises me sometimes.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah,
In a good way.
Yeah, very impressive. So that makes you proud as well.
Yeah. We're very proud of him. Yeah.
So you said you are running for mayor. What was behind the decision to run for mayor?
The past 2 years since I've been out of the council and the local arena, I've seen a lot of nothing happening, to be honest. I mean, there's been a lot. The council hasn't been unified. So we were unified for 12 years. Something happened and it's not unified right now. So a lot of stuff hasn't been done because it's been mostly about fighting. I see employees, people still know me. I run into them at Walmart, wherever we're at the stores, and they're like, hey, you know what? The morale's down, on the employee side. So, I want to make sure that we continue the way we were 2 years ago and continue that momentum, because we have other projects that still are in the pipeline that haven't been completed. And we want to make sure that the proper council is working towards those goals and not just bickering or not getting along.
Because you have to get along, and it's for the betterment of your community, right? So you have to lay down certain differences to be able to say this is the greater goal, right?
Exactly, yeah. And like we've had Carol Smith on from City of Yuma, and she has said that whether a council member is Democrat or Republican, at the end of the day, you're nonpartisan for the city. You were sent there by the residents who voted you in. So at the end of the day, you have to work together for the betterment of the city.
And you might not agree on all the terms. I'm not going to say in 12 years, all the councils that we had, because we went through 3 different councils, we all agreed on everything, but we learned how to work together for the community. And I think that has been lost this past session. So I want to get back to that and hopefully continue the growth that we were doing, especially in the east side of town. And as the city continues to grow, we need to find funding and additional sources. So that takes time and the proper vision.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to convince our friend Ruben to run again too, or what?
He's actually on the ballot. He's running.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So I wouldn't be a reporter if I didn't mention that you are not the only candidate for mayor, Matias, but the other one's running, Tadeo de la Hoya, who's on the council now, James Allen, and there's a Jeremy. I'll have to, but any candidate, for any office is welcome on our show.
Welcome on the show, absolutely.
So, we don't, make endorsements here, but yeah. So, and then you mentioned, or we talked about off air that someone we had on a couple weeks ago or last week, Eric Luzania is also running. Another young man, he's like 25, 26, around there.
And this is for council now?
For council, yeah. So he works with Campesinos Sin Fronteras, and he didn't mention that when he was on the show, that he's running for city council. Yeah, so that's another young man.
Yeah, Eric Luzania. Then we also have Tavi Ramirez, a local business owner out there. He owns a La Cruda restaurant. He's also running for council. And then the current vice mayor, Javier Vargas, is running for re-election. So, you got a little mixture of, the candidates, the group of candidates is great because you have young youth with some experience in it. So that's the ultimate goal. We need to have a little bit of both so we could have a unified council. So, all those candidates that are running, their heart's in the right place and they're doing it for the community. So, come election time, that's what's going to matter.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us all the good news that, you've seen this place grow so much. And then you said, I'm going to put my hat back in the ring and make sure it continues to grow and get those projects done.
Oh, thank you guys for having me here. And it was a pleasure. And if you guys ever...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and again, I just want to put this on. If you are running, you want to come on the show, it's real easy to do. So you can reach out to me or Victor, or you could email us at whatsupyumaradio.com and we'll get you on. And with that, it's time to take a break. We'll be back with some nurses. Yep, that's true. Right after this, you're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, crafted in Welton, inspired by the desert, offering scratch-made food, handcrafted beers, live music, and experiences like farm tours and glamping. Location information, the schedule of events, and details on the range of options to be enjoyed are at hightanks.com.
From KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. Arizona Western College is in the process of finding a new executive vice president for the Entrepreneurial College, and they're down to 5 candidates. This position oversees workforce, career and technical education, healthcare, and reskilling programs. The college announced it will be holding candidate forums on April 16th and 20th. These meetings will be open to members of the Yuma and La Paz communities and will take place at the AWC Yuma campus in Matador Activity Center, room 106. Each forum is dedicated to one candidate. On Thursday, April 16th, Dr. Isaac Zuniga will be presenting from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Dr. Shadi Kilani will be presenting from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and Dr. Shelley Pierce from 3:45 p.m. to 4:45 p.m. On Monday, April 20th, Dr. David Campbell will be presenting from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and Dr. Andrew Clegg from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. From KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. And yes, AWC is indeed our license holder.
Welcome to KAWC's The Hotspot.
I'm Chloe Michael.
And I'm Maya Manry. This week, we're seeing if a certain feeling is shared. Is the vibe off?
I'd certainly say so.
At the beginning of the semester, it was packed, but like half the people are not there.
This show is available as a podcast or online at kawc.org under the shows tab.
Bringing the heat to Yuma and La Paz, it's The Hotspot.
Addie PAX hosts their annual 5K run and walk on Saturday, April 18th at the West Wetlands Park. Funds from the event will provide support and comfort for families with critically ill children, including navigating hospital stays, medical appointments, and daily life with a sick child. Details by searching for Addie PAX on Facebook.
K-pop fans, it's time for some girl time, don't you think? Join me for the Girl Time Show with La Seraphim, aespa, Cat's Eye, and more. K-pop for Border airs on Saturdays at 1 p.m. on Kofa Radio. Stream the show on KAWC's app or website, or follow K-pop for Border Facebook or Instagram.
I use KAWC almost on a daily basis in my car. It's the background for chores around my house. And I go to the website and look for stories that are of interest, and I listen to podcasts. I look to the news on NPR because I'm looking for something beyond the headline or a soundbite or a gotcha moment. I really want news that shows me sort of the multiple dimensions of a story, that seeks information from multiple sources and doesn't tell me how to think. It just presents the issues, and I really appreciate that. Being a sustaining member of a service like KAWC takes the mystery out of it for me. So I know that I am supporting every month. I also know that I don't have to remember to sit down and write a check at the end of the year or a budget for a check at the end of the year, right? It's kind of coming out of my account every month, and that makes me feel a little bit like I'm part of the team. I'm Lori Stoft from Arizona Western College, and I'm a proud supporter of KAWC Yuma.
If you're tired of listening to long commercials before finally hearing music, look no further. We've got you covered. Whether you're searching on your radio, trying to find an app to play some tunes, or need background music playing on your computer while finishing up some work, KOFA Border Radio is your non-commercial place for music.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here now joined by
Kristie Wright. She's treasurer with the Yuma County Nurses Foundation, and Cassie Mueller, senior vice president and chief nursing officer with Onvita Health. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you.
All right. And you both are joining us because you have a gala coming up. Is that correct?
We do on May 2nd.
May 2nd. And what exactly is a gala?
So what a gala is a party to celebrate nurses.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm going there. Jeez.
You had him at party.
Yeah.
We're having a party.
We're having a party.
And you do know
Okay.
nurses like to party.
I do. Shout out to my sister, Amanda and Nathan. And I have a lot of family over there. But anyway. Yeah. And so you're going to party. But, I have a question. This is what I'm going to start with. Nurses, when I go to the doctors or go to the hospital, it seems like they do everything.
We do.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. I was thinking about that in the show. It's like I see the doctor for a second, and then the rest is like the nurse is like they should be getting paid more. Do you guys agree?
I agree 100%.
Okay, cool. See that? All right. We need to talk to somebody. But no, so then you guys definitely deserve to party. But you're here to talk about that. So how does that come in? Like you want to make everybody feel appreciated, the nurses that are there?
Yeah, so this started in 2009 by two nursing organizations to come together to celebrate nurses, to nominate nurses, to honor nurses for all the hard work that they do in Yuma County.
Mm-hmm. And so what were those organizations? Because you're a member of one of them, correct?
So originally it was NON and the National Hispanic Nursing Association and Arizona Nurses Association. And so they came together and started this event in 2009. We had one award, which was the Yuma County Nurse of the Year. Then it grew. And in 2014, we went ahead and expanded to more awards to nominate more nurses and honor more nurses. In 2024, we decided to start a new nonprofit called Yuma County Nurses Foundation, and that is what this is here. So we took it over from the other two associations to continue the annual gala.
So there's been some evolution to all of this.
Huge evolution.
And as it grows, you say like, well, more people need to be highlighted. We need to spotlight some more people. So you create these different awards because you're saying like they definitely need to be getting some recognition.
Correct. So we have leadership, we have mentorship, and we have clinical. And we have rubrics and scoring and all of that people look at. And people nominate a nurse. They write an essay to exemplify why they deserve this award.
So who writes the essays?
It can be any community member. It can be family members. We've had patients write the essays. We've had colleagues write the essays. And so it's just grown and evolved. We were little, and then we grew out a pivot point because, again, we had too many nurses who wanted to come and celebrate nursing.
Yeah, so this one's going to be at the casino, right?
It is.
So a little bit of gambling, a little bit of partying.
A little bit of all of it, yes, yes.
Cool. And they're shaking their heads over here off camera. So
yeah.
And so what is your role with this?
Yeah, so I'm the Chief Nursing Officer for Envita. Envita Health is the Platinum sponsor. So we have the privilege of getting to present the Nurse of the Year and helping to sponsor this great night that is put on by the Yuma County Nurses Foundation. So they've done a great job growing the event, and we're here to sponsor that.
And so, again, so it's a nonprofit, and then Envita comes in to sponsor the event.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so how long has Envita been a partner with sponsoring this event? I know you're new, so you said you're new to town, so I don't know if you have the answers or not.
So multiple years, but this is our first platinum sponsor year, is my understanding. Okay. So we're excited to get to highlight that.
So what does it mean to you, and how long have you been in the nursing business?
Yeah, so I've been in nursing for 16 years, been here since just November, so new to the Yuma community, and the community's been wonderful. I've been welcomed, and we have excellent teams working together for the best of our patients. I love our community involvement, so that's really connected to me and what brought me here. This event is so exciting. We were talking about that before we came in the room, because nurses do what they do every day. You recognize nurses are frequently at the bedside. We're there all the time. And nurses will frequently say, we're just doing our job. It's what we do. And so to get a recognition from a team member or a colleague or a patient or a family member lives with them forever. It truly is our connection back to purpose to make a difference for others. And so nurses getting to be highlighted is certainly something we want to be a part of. And I'm very happy to be a part of this night.
Yeah, and that's like, being in the hospital, that's who you make that connection with, because that's who you see the most, depending on the length of your stay there. You kind of get to know when their shift is and when they come in, and you get to know a little bit about them and stuff. And so, like you said, to be able to be highlighted for something that is their job, to be able to do that, and it definitely makes that connection. So we like to get to know everybody on our show a little bit. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, from South Carolina originally.
Mm-hmm. And then how did you end up in Yuma? It sounds like you like it here, so that's good.
I do. I love it here. It's been fantastic. Really was looking to explore out this way and truly came for this position. After I came out, I came to visit and got to spend a lot of time in the community. Absolutely loved it and excited to be here. This will be my first summer. I'm told it's hot, so I'm ready.
So that's what I was going to get you water.
Yeah.
Because you're all smiles right now. Everything's all smiles.
You don't know. That's the secret
She
of
doesn't
Yuma.
know what's coming.
Yes. Yeah.
Just drink lots of water, stay indoors, you'll be fine.
That's
so
what I'm
so
told,
keep her indoors. She sounds like a good one. We got to keep her, so you got to make sure that she always has AC all the time because it's about to get a little different here pretty soon. But what was your first impression when you came here in November?
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Our winter was beautiful. The setting is beautiful. I really love the environment here and our ability to connect care to the community, to build trust, to make care better for everyone is really important to me. It's the foundation of Onvita. So my impressions have been all good. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, good. Yes. Wait till July.
I'll come back and let you know.
You're like, why? Put that on. Put that on our calendar. She's coming back in July. We're gonna get an update. So this is going to be your first gala then?
It will be. Yes. It'll be the first one here.
So what are you excited about most with the gala?
I love to hear the stories, to get to network. So we get to read the stories, the nominations. So that'll be part of it, and getting to hear about nurses, celebrating them and all that they do and their connection. And then getting to network with others is always fun, to get people out of the healthcare environment into a different setting.
Yeah, because you guys see each other, but
right.
you're seeing in the work environment,
Yes.
right? So, you have to be a little bit more professional, I guess. Not on this show at all. Like, you can do whatever you want. This is just a fun show.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're in that environment. But then you could go out and, like you said, maybe get to know somebody a little bit better.
That's right. And my understanding is we're dressing up, right?
Yes, it's a gala. Gala means dress up.
So it's a party that dresses up?
Yes.
You didn't tell me that.
So no
Now I-
scrubs.
Yes.
Won't be in scrubs.
So it's like fancy or something? 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't do fancy, so I
So
can't
it's
do
nurses
that.
in the spotlight. It's a Hollywood theme. We're going to have a VIP carpet. We're going to have VIP bands. We're going to have a red carpet. It's just going to be a party to celebrate. We're going to have Oscars in our decor. So it's just celebrating nurses, putting nurses in the spotlight for all that we do for the community.
Is there like a decor, department that gets to pick out all that cool stuff?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. So is that the foundation? That does
It
that?
is,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We're a working board. I'm the treasurer, and then I'm also in charge of nominations. So I'm the chair of nomination committee. We have a decorating committee. We have a sponsorship committee. We have all these different committees to make this event come together.
Oh, very cool. And with that, we're going to take a break because we have somebody over here waiting. Julie, right? Yeah, Julie's over here. We're going to get her some shine and some spotlight. We're going to do that right after a quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
This is folk singer Michael Jonathan. Join us as we celebrate the music of your front porch with teenage guitar master and thumb-picking champion Isaac Beaver, and performing in the shadow of Bonnie Raitt, Magnolia Boulevard. Both artists, music and conversation on this week's broadcast of the Wood Song Old Time Radio Hour.
This evening at 7 p.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM. Temperatures should be about normal today for this time of year in Quartzsite, Parker, and Yuma. We expect a sunny day with clear skies and an afternoon high of about 81 degrees. Winds are light at 5 miles per hour out of the northwest in Yuma and Quartzsite. Out of the southwest in Parker, mostly clear skies tonight with a low about 53 degrees.
Today's day sponsor is the family of John Isaac Jordan, wishing him a very happy 16th birthday. Big shout out to a wonderful son, brother, grandson, nephew, cousin, and friend who means so much to everyone around him. Hope your day is amazing and your year ahead is even better. Have the best day ever. We love you.
For over 55 years, Border Radio KOFA has been a voice for music and culture in the region. We play indie, soul, funk, world beats, and more, plus local stories and live sessions. Tune in live at 94.7 FM, on demand at borderradioaz.org or on the KOFA app and discover your next favorite song.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We're here now joined by
Julie Moreno. She's with the Yuma County Nurses Foundation Sponsorship Committee. I want to make sure to get that correct.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
And we also have Kristie, who's the treasurer for the foundation. So as we said, we like to get to know our guests. So let's start with Kristie. Are you from Yuma County, or where are you from originally?
I'm originally from San Diego, California.
Okay. And what brought you out here to Yuma?
I couldn't afford to live in California anymore.
Same with our last guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually moved out here in 2003, though, so I've been out here quite a bit of time. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, Julie, are you from the area?
I was actually born on the East Coast, and when I was in grade school, my mom decided she wanted to live in Arizona, so moved here probably like fourth grade.
Yeah,
so
to Yuma specifically?
To Yuma specifically,
Okay.
yeah. And like everyone else, I left for a couple years after junior college and came back.
So was that your goal? Like I want to get out of Yuma?
No, I mean, not necessarily. I don't know. You know, when you're 19, you know everything. So around that time, I think, I don't remember, I think 21, I went to Seattle for 4 years and came back. So.
The grunge scene, is that what it was?
No. I had a lot of friends that were into it at that time. Yeah, now you know my age. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah. So did you go to school for? Are you a nurse then?
I am a nurse as well. Yeah. So I'm one of those that became a nurse later in life. I actually worked in behavioral health for some time, and then I did 11 years at Monster Media. And I sold advertising.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I went back to school and became a nurse. So I've been a nurse for, I think, 12 years. You kind of lose count of the years, kind of like when you're married, you forget how long.
So why the change? What called you to be a nurse?
You know what? I always was like coaching other people and telling them like, oh, you should be a nurse and this and that. And I was working in marketing, so I met people that were trying to recruit nurses. And, you know, I just kept telling other people, oh, you should become a nurse. And I just never thought I could like stop working and then actually go to school
to take all the courses
the leap.
that you have to do.
So my neighbor who is a nurse, and she's actually a director in Phoenix now, but she said, why aren't you doing like I was probably in the middle
so
of
you
my
got bossed around.
I was probably in the middle of like, you should be a nurse, and she's like, why aren't you
You're
doing
like
this?
the Oprah of this whole thing, right?
So she sat down with me, and I just had a couple prereqs to take, and so I made the leap, and I went to NA-Yuma, which is a really great experience. So I'm kind of a homegrown nurse.
So once you became a nurse, like, what was that like? So after telling everybody else to do it, now you're in there, you're on the floor. What was that like for you?
I mean, nursing school, first of all, was one of the hardest things I've ever done besides parenting. That's a different show.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of people now. It's really cool to watch people that I worked with in the past that were maybe, nurses assistants, and then they decide to go back to school. And now I see them, either in rotations in my department or calling them to give report, So it's just neat to see the growth and the opportunity in Yuma for people to get that career here. I never forget what it's like to be a nursing student. So I feel like I'm always really supportive, if I can be, to them.
And so you're on the committee. You're part of getting the sponsorships, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how was that? How'd that go with getting the sponsorship? Do people automatically recognize and say that we should be highlighting this?
Well, these gals have been working hard for a long time. I came on board about 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And they have really established a great base and
like a good rapport with everybody as well.
Yeah, they really got the ball rolling, and they've done a lot of groundwork, and especially with Yuma County Nurses Foundation being so new. Last year was the first one they did as Yuma County Nurses Foundation. And so I came on board, kind of added some of my marketing background to help. And then we redesigned the sponsorship package this year, the packages, and really excited that we have the sponsors involved with announcing the winners. I think that just really brings a great connection.
Okay, so like if you sponsor, you get to like sponsor some of the sponsors.
Platinum
If you show the money, show me the money. You know what I mean? Yeah, then you can be a part of it. I know how it goes. I'm in marketing too, girl.
The platinum sponsor gets to announce the Nurse of the Year, and we have some gold sponsors. The first 3 gold sponsors that reserve their spot, they get to announce each category, and I can pass it to Kristie to talk about the categories too.
That was my next question. You're good at this.
So as I said, we have the 3 categories. We have leadership, mentorship, and clinical. And so the first 3 gold sponsors get to get up there and announce those winners, and then our platinum gets to announce the nurse of the year.
So can you can let us know the sponsors too? You can give them a shout out if you want to, or mention them right now.
So we have Onvita, we have NAU, Yuma, we have Regional Border Health, we have Yuma Rehabilitation Hospital, we have
Yuma Imperial Valley, Management, we have Kestra.
I had a list, but Kestra Technology.
I didn't bring my phone.
I know my phone.
This is not a test.
We're so grateful for all of our sponsors, and we weren't sure how much we could promote, so we didn't bring our list.
No, I know that letter normally scares people that I send out.
It did. And we have people also that are sponsoring in-kind things. For example, obviously we're having the event at the Q, and the Q is one of our helping hand sponsors, and
all of our sponsors are on yumanurses.com. If anyone wants to look, that's also where people can do sponsorships, because we're still taking copper sponsors right now. So yumanurses.com is our website that we have, where people can buy tickets and they can do sponsors and give in-kind donations as well.
And they can really just go to Gala and kind of learn about the event and learn about the foundation as well. And we have a lot of wonderful Yuma businesses, because Yuma is such a great community, honestly. It comes together for everything, right? That's why I love living here. It's and I tell people that are new to Yuma, once you're here, you need to know, this community is going to embrace you. So we have a lot of businesses that have donated items for giveaways. So people at the event, they get to gamble, dance, have a good meal, and they get to win something.
Yeah. So if you're not lucky on the slots, you can
get a raffle.
There's some really, really beautiful, generous prizes. So it's exciting. It's exciting to go somewhere and win something too.
Absolutely.
Just for being there. So
absolutely. So is there a number? Do we know how many nurses are at Onvita? Did somebody here have that number? Again, this is not a test.
1,000 were here.
1,000.
Yeah. So last year we had over 326 people attend, and we had over 100 nominees. This year we have over 100 nominations, but 72 individuals, and our ticket sales are still open. So we're encouraging more and more nurses and families to buy tickets on the website to make it a big party to celebrate nurses and all that we do. Unfortunately, the hospital doesn't shut down, so some nurses have to work that day, so they don't get to attend. But anyone who wants to attend is welcome to attend to celebrate the good work that nurses do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a couple questions. So you mentioned Nurse of the Year. Can you mention who the Nurse of the Year was last year?
That was Bridget Allen, was the Nurse of the Year last year, and she's going to be our keynote this year.
And what's her focus, or what's her
She's in
area?
the cancer center. She is a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
And again, it's based off the essays. So we have I have 7 different individuals who score each category. So they don't score the same ones, and so then that team scores them. I look at the scores and tally the scores, and then those 3 winners go out to determine who the Nurse of the Year is. So they read the nominations.
She's super hardworking. This is a huge job.
Sounds like it.
It's a huge job. I think I have the more fun job. But she's working very hard. It's a big process.
Do you get to sleep at all?
I do sometimes.
Sometimes.
But I do have to read every single nomination.
Yeah, wow.
We blind it and take out their names, so the people who are scoring, don't have those identifiers, to make it as fair as possible for every individual, because everyone is deserving of the award, but we can't give everyone the award. So we have to have the top 3 nurses each year that we give, and then out of those 3, someone gets to be the Yuma County Nurse of the Year.
Absolutely.
And then in the couple minutes we have, so you both talked about the community, the relationship with the community and Onvita and the nurses and all the staff. What can the community members do to help to support nurses in their day-to-day work?
That's a great question.
That's why I got Victor over here.
He's great.
Yeah.
I think most people, at least that I interact with, that are my patients or their family, most people say thank you. Just like Cassie was saying, they say, thank you for doing a great job. And I think just maybe, and people are having a hard time, right? It's not fun or easy to be a patient or a family member. And it's probably hard sometimes for them to be patient, and sometimes we need people to be patient or just maybe ask the questions, get through that anxiety. I don't think I need to be thanked every time, but I feel like that it goes in the moments where nurses maybe are mistreated or not appreciated, I think it's mostly because people are, struggling with whatever they have going on.
And that's why they go to the hospital, right?
Right.
Like there's a situation.
Yeah,
it's not the place that people want to be.
Right.
So there might be a little bit about that. But,
right. It's not always like happy news there is in labor and delivery, which is where Kristie is from.
Oh, that's where you're at?
I work, That's the happier part of the, but yeah, so people do have, and if you've been a family member, it's not easy. I mean, I work in the hospital, and when I had my family member in there, it wasn't even what I felt like as a stressful thing because I understood what was going on. And I remember leaving the hospital and being exhausted and surprised that I was exhausted. It's like, I know this building, I know these people, I know. So it really gives you appreciation that the family members and patients, what they're going through when they're there. But, so I guess being patient, saying thank you.
Saying thank you. Thank you goes a long way.
Definitely.
If you're a patient, be patient.
There you go. See, again, that's why I keep Victor here. You see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
They pay me to be a journalist here.
He summed it up real good.
Yeah, he's the real journalist. I just pretend like I do this.
There's
over
a
here.
lot of community members, though, that step up. Like Kristie was talking about, and she has more history with NON and with ASNA, but there is, I don't know, like a coffee shop that promotes and does like Sunkissed coffee.
Okay. So this is what kicks off Nurses Week. So Nurses Week starts, and we kick the party off with the gala. And then other businesses help. So we have Caffeinated Nurse with ASNA. They buy drinks, and anyone who with a nursing badge during Nurses Week can go get a drink for free.
Cool.
And so, different things. Cool. Anvita does stuff for Nurses Week. And so this is just kicking off Nurses Week to celebrate nurses and all that they do.
So tell everybody.
Go ahead. Before we sign off, the website and any social media you want to share.
There you go.
YumaNurses.com. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And please just go check out our website. We thank you.
And when and where the event?
May 2nd at the Quechan Casino is going to be. And again, May 2nd, we'll have the event.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you for bringing stickers. We're going to trade out stickers here in a little bit. I appreciate you guys and everything you do. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. With that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornelas, Juan Garcia, Dave Reek, and Cecilia.
You can find out more about KOFA at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music.
And on tomorrow's show, we're going to have Jason Heisel. What is he going to be doing?
He's with the Little Lucha event that's coming up, so it's a fun little wrestling event with little people.
Yeah, with little people. It's going to be great.
You can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, go to whatsupyuma.biz, hit that radio link, and then hit the book link, and you could be on this show. I'm looking for somebody tomorrow even.
Thank you.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
You are tuned into KOFA Yuma Border Radio 94.7 FM and 1320 AM. We can also be heard with the KOFA app and